Governance at the ministerial level is basically about vigorously pursuing a vision and mission to strategically offer good leadership by translating, formulating, and actualizing purposeful developmental policies, programs, and projects to deliver the dividends of democracy to the citizenry. Above all, ascertaining probity, transparency, and accountability. Let's bring you the progress report across federal ministries on the Ministers platform. You're welcome. Across various federal ministries, agencies, and parastatals comes fresh developments, occurrences, and happenings on ministry news. The federal government on Wednesday approved 54.82 billion naira for various projects in the Ministries of Works and Humanitarian and Social Development. This is as it approved a refund totaling 9.18 billion naira to Kebbi and Taraba states for federal road projects executed by their governments during the Jonathan administration. The Ministers of Works and Humanitarian disclosed this to State House correspondents shortly after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Aso Villa, Abuja.
All these roles are being taken into consideration and selected in conjunction with the state governments and other critical stakeholders to stimulate economic activities, enhance security, and facilitate the freer movement of goods and people in these affected states within the zone.
Council also approved that the road under construction by Taraba State, for which this reimbursement is being made, that contract by the state government should now be terminated. That is a section between Bali and Seti.
The Minister of Interior, OGBENI RAUF AREGBESOLA, was awarded the Minister of the Year award at the 10th edition of the Democracy Heroes Award Africa, which held at the Congress Hall, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja on the 18th of August 2022 with the theme Sustaining Democracy Through Peaceful Electioneering. The minister, in his speech, expressed his gratitude for the award, assuring Nigerians in general that despite the current challenges in the country, Nigeria will surely overcome as a people and as a nation.
I must therefore thank the organizer for the kind invitation to this event, Democracy Heroes Award, and for the honor of the award of the Best Minister of the Year 2022 bestowed on me. At my age, and the goodness of the good Lord I've been privileged to enjoy, I do not believe an award will add more to me or surpass for my worth. Or without an award, I was a two-time commissioner in Lagos and a two-time governor in Osun. I've received, and quite unsolicited, a surfeit of awards, all celebrating the excellence of God in me. And I'm now a minister. So we are talking of executive position. The only position left for me to occupy, you can guess. You can guess. So it does not add to me whether I'm given an award or I'm not. It does not take away from me if I'm not given an award. But that does not mean that I not appreciate this award. I'm just telling you that we must be careful how we celebrate this award on me, because I've had it all. Our nation is going through challenges, especially on security, and that was the issue I was discussing with Lolo just there. These challenges are temporary, I must add, and they do not define us. Don't let us box ourselves to a corner assuming that the challenges we are going through today are definitive. and they are the ones who really qualify us as a people. No, they cannot. We are defined by the greatness of the Nigerian people, their resilience, their capacity to survive in spite of these challenges. I am not talking of you and I. We might not be able to survive the trauma that the Nigerian people in their ordinariness go through every day. So my salute is to those people who out there suffer the real effects of the challenges we face. We are defined by the greatness of the Nigerian people in their strength, ingenuity, and resilience, as exemplified by the quality of the recipients of today's awards. We shall overcome all the challenges. A time is coming, and very, very soon, quote me, when we shall look at this period in retrospect and give thanks to the Most High for the stormy waters we have waded through and the triumphs we have recorded over the challenges that look so huge and gargantuan today. So, starting from here, the assurance I'm giving to Nigerians is that whatever it is that we are passing through today are temporary.
The federal government, through the Ministry of Works, has said that the second Niger Bridge project is now at 98% completion stage. The Director, Planning and Research, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Jide Ode Martins, stated this in Kano during the opening ceremony of the National Council of Works meeting on Monday. The meeting, which is themed Infrastructure Season of Completion, brought together all infrastructure stakeholders from the 36 states of the Federation and Abuja. The Minister of Defense, Major General Bashiru Salihi Magashi, retired, has demanded quick action towards implementing bilateral military agreements between Nigeria and India. The minister stated this during a courtesy call on him by the Indian Minister of State for External Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs, Shriv Nura Lid Aram, at the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Abuja. General Magashi said, moving forward, time is of essence towards achieving the desired end, which is improved collaboration to support the armed forces of Nigeria in the area of equipment in aid of the current fight against banditry, terrorism and piracy in the nation's territorial waters. On his part, the Indian Minister of State for External Affairs thanked the Defense Minister for oiling the wheel of progress of the age-long military bilateral partnership between the two countries since 1958, 2 years before Nigeria got our independence. And still from the Ministry of Defense, the governments of Nigeria and Iran have commenced mapping out the modalities to increase military diplomatic ties to ensure that the Nigerian armed forces and the Iranian armed forces partner on mutual benefits. The agreement was the outcome of a meeting with the Iranian ambassador Mohammed Alibak on Wednesday at the defense headquarters by the Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashir Magashi. The minister noted that while Nigeria was taking note of genuine allies and their support as the country battles multiple threats to its territorial integrity, the proposals for improved military ties between Nigeria and Iran must be mutually beneficial. The Iranian envoy, who thanked the minister for providing strategic direction to the partnership, promised to key into the new plans that will attract a win-win situation for both countries. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Ehanire, has decried the high dependence on importation of health goods in the African region, positing that there is need to increase the manufacturing capacity in Africa. Dr. Ehanire said these are the ongoing 72nd session of the World Health Organization Regional Committee for Africa taking place in Lomé, Togo. He noted that Nigeria was working hard to strengthen public health security for better preparedness for future challenges and improved routine health care towards achieving universal health coverage. Still from the Ministry of Health, as Nigeria commemorates 3 years of wild poliovirus-free status. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Hanure, has identified the impact of COVID-19 and insecurity in some parts of the country as fueling the re-emerging variants of the polio viruses. The minister, who stated this Thursday at the 3rd-year anniversary of wild polioviruses eradication in Nigeria, held in Abuja, said the variants are remnants in the environment as a result of suboptimal environmental sanitation. He, however, said that the ministry has directed and guided the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency to mount the needed response to deal with these viruses within an integrated framework in order to address other public health challenges, including the ongoing COVID-19 vaccination in the country. The Minister of Transportation, Alhaji Muazu Sambo, has disclosed that the Lekki Seaport project will create 112,000 jobs for Nigerians upon its completion, since it has the capacity to berth the largest ships in the world. This was made known by the minister in a chat with journalists in Jalingo. The minister also noted that the port, which was second in Nigeria after Onne Deep Sea Port, has the potential to garner more revenues for the country, pointing out that the project would impact positively on the nation's economy. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, has inaugurated 44 members of the governing boards of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI, Nigerian Postal Service, NIPOST, and the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. The minister, who spoke during the inauguration ceremony in Abuja, urged the board members to drive the implementation of digital economy policies. According to the minister, the responsibilities of the newly inaugurated governing board members were to oversight and oversee the activities of the parastatals.
More than 90% of the board members have been reappointed. This reappointment came about as a result of our recommendation, because most of you have displayed maturity in the way and manner they interact with the parastatals.
The federal government has moved to enforce Nigeria's expatriate quota policy with the inauguration of an expanded task force on expatriate quota administration in order to achieve effective and efficient service delivery. The action by the government followed abuses and gross violations of the policy by foreigners and some organizers in the country. The Minister of Interior, OGBENI RAUF AREGBESOLA, condemned this practice at the re-inauguration of the task force to check these abuses. He said that the expatriate quota policy provides an effective means for documenting foreigners' presence, their activities, and ensuring their protection as well. The Minister of Power, Mr. Abubakar Aliyu, will next month in Lagos host representatives of the United Nations, European Union, Economic Community of West African States, as well as other policy makers, local and international operators, and investors to dialogue and prefer solutions to the myriad of problems bedeviling the Nigerian electricity supply industry. The dignitaries and sector stakeholders will be gathering for the 9th edition of Nigeria Energy Conference 2022 with the theme Affordable, Reliable and Sustainable Energy through Collaboration, organized by Dubai-based company Informa Markets. The 3-day event will be held in Lagos from the 20th of September to the 22nd, 2022, with over 3,000 attendees and over 100 exhibitors from 21 countries. The Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Adeleke Mamora, said that the ministry will collaborate with Academy of Medicine specialists in the area of medical science technology with some relevant agencies. The minister said this when the Academy of Medicine Specialties of Nigeria paid him a courtesy visit recently in his office in Abuja. He explained that the whole essence of STI is to acquire knowledge through research, challenging the various stakeholders to key into Nigeria's STI development projects. The Minister of Police Affairs, Dr. Mohammed Maigari Dingyari, has reiterated the resolve of the federal government to deal with criminals with the language they understand within the legal framework, as security agencies have made a lot of progress in suppressing their activities in the last 1 month. The minister made this known during the visit of the Canadian High Commission to Nigeria, led by High Commissioner James Christophe, to the Ministries headquarters in Abuja. He said the government will continue to solicit support and understanding of countries like Canada to figure out how both countries can work together to assist in fighting criminalities and cooperate in the areas of exchange of intelligence and information that will go a long way to curb the activities of criminals. On his part, the Canadian High Commissioner commended the efforts of the ministry in the improvement of accountability and transparency, which is very important in policing the country. The federal government has set up a 12-man committee to work towards the successful production and second launch of the Sports Book of Record with a view to documenting athletes' achievements for posterity. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dari, while inaugurating the committee recently in his office in Abuja, called on them to work assiduously towards ensuring the production and launch of a one-stop shop document for the country's sportsmen and women, as well as their achievements, both past and present, to ensure that the sacrifices and patriotic zeal of the athletes are written in gold and documented accordingly. And finally, on ministry news, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, has reaffirmed its commitment to completing the multi-billion naira Millennium Tower in the nation's capital. The FCT Minister, Malam Mohammed Bello, who made this known through his permanent secretary when the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, led members of the Nigeria-India Business Council on a tour of projects, said the tower was both a tourism hub of the city and the nation in general, as well as boosting the revenue profile of the FCT. The minister equally noted that the government was resolved to market the tower to various investors in order to ensure its completion.
This is supposed to be like a tourism hub for the city. In an edifice where you are going to have 5-star hotel, an auditorium with a capacity of 1,200. On lease, these are going to draw a lot of revenue for the FCT.
From the presidency, we bring you news high points of fresh developments from the office of Mr. President. President Muhammadu Buhari Thursday in Abuja welcomed the exploratory interactions between Nigerian biomedical scientists, officials of the Federal Ministry of Health and Biotech Company to support the production of messenger RNA vaccines in Nigeria. The president met with Mr. Holm Keller, the executive chairman of Kenop Foundation and representative of the CEO of BioNTech, the MRNA vaccine patent holder in Africa. He expressed confidence that the interactions between the parties will be productive, leading to collaborations at many levels, from clinical trials to research and development of new vaccines, and eventually support vaccine manufacturing facilities in the country.
The CEO of Biotech, the MRNA vaccine patent holder in Africa, I am informed that you have, by authority of the BIONTECH CEO, been in conversation with the Minister of Health since you met at the Commonwealth Conference in Kigali, Rwanda. I also welcome our own Nigerian biomedical scientists. I have no doubt that you will have a productive interaction and agreed to collaborate on many levels, from clinical trials to research and development of new vaccines, and eventually support vaccine manufacturing facilities here in Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated the commitment of his administration to tackle terrorists and bandits who have been putting their knees on the necks of Nigerians. The president gave the assurance at the Citizen Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security convened by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and Partners with the theme Reopen Conversation, Rebuild Trust, held in Abuja. Represented by the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, President Buhari assured Nigerians that just like his administration had put the seemingly intractable farmers' herders crisis under control, it will also successfully tackle the terrorists and bandits. While commending the gallant men and women in uniform, he appealed to all compatriots to continue to support them in their onerous task of keeping the country safe. And finally, from the presidency, President Muhammadu Buhari says he remains a disciplined soldier of the All Progressive Congress APC and will in all the coming elections support only those candidates fielded by the party and no other. The president made this position known in Abuja on Wednesday. He also warned decamped party members and some others who are still in court against official candidates of the APC that they are on their own and nobody outside the party should link what they are doing to him. The Ministry of Interior, under the able leadership of the Honorable Federal Minister of Interior, has brought about positive revolutionary reformation, advancement, and of course, progressive change to live up to its mandate, functions, and strategic roles. Let's find out in this first part interview the giant struts of the minister on Talking with the Minister on the Minister's platform. Let's hear him. You're still watching the Minister's platform, a program that, of course, gives a voice to the federal ministries of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And today we're going to be looking at a very strategic federal ministry that, of course, is saddled with the responsibility of internal security in Nigeria. And so it's our pleasure to welcome the Minister of Interior, OGBENI RAUF AREGBESOLA, who is going to be telling us about the major significant achievements of his ministry. We're here to also verify and ascertain the level of efforts and initiatives the ministry, under the able leadership of the minister, has taken to position the Ministry of Interior. You're welcome, sir, to the program.
Thank you for the opportunity of engaging with Nigerians.
It was a pleasure, sir. What is the internal security master plan and policy direction of the ministry for the much desired transformational change in the country?
On assumption of office in August of 2019, we rallied the leadership and the staff of the ministry and the agencies or services that are with us to fully understand the mission of the ministry and its strategic role in protecting Nigerians, ensuring their safety and securing both their lives and property and the territorial integrity of the Nigerian space. So by the end of the 6th month, we organized the first ever ministerial retreat. The theme of the retreat is driving performance in achieving the presidential mandate in Nigeria's internal security. At that retreat, which was the first ever, the ministry will ever put together. We mobilized both the ministry and the agencies to let us even know what their own knowledge of their roles are on the mandate of the ministry, which is safety of Nigerians, internal security, and citizenship integrity. So after that, we went into developing strategic plans at achieving the broad objective and the limited defined objectives broken into short, medium, and long term. By the first week of October, we will be launching documents on strategic master plan for internal security in Nigeria, which is a result of all the efforts we have done in developing an intellectual framework based on interaction, exposition, and understanding of the roles of each organs, from the main ministry to the Nigeria Immigration Service, Nigerian Correctional Service, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the Federal Fire Service. So we are sure that the ministry will meet the objective of safeguarding life and property of Nigerians, as well as collaborating with other security agencies, particularly the military, at safeguarding the territorial integrity of the Federation.
There are significant initiatives, programs and efforts of the ministry, especially in the areas of granting of Nigerian citizenship, consular and immigration services, business permits, and expatriate quota since you came into office. We've actually been opportune to read in the print media some of these very, what I call it, gallant efforts. So can you share with us? Nigerians would like to know.
We met a not too suitable procedure for the grant of expatriate quota, which we have reviewed. We have developed a new handbook for expatriate quota administration and the grant of business permits. I equally set up a task force that will ensure enforcement of all the regulations and conditions for the grant of expatriate quota. It could be your private business, it could be in government operations. Government believes that if Nigerians cannot do a particular job and expatriates are required to undertake such assignments, in registering and granting the permit for such expatriate to work in Nigeria for whatever corporations, firm, or even individual, the onus is on that hiring individual or corporations or firm, and even government operation or service, to ensure that a Nigerian or some Nigerians are equally put through the capacity to take over from the expatriate at the end of the quota given. So we set up a task force to enforce that. And I'm confident that that task force is working.
So, Minister, before you came on board, the Ministry of Interior, there was a systemic failure. This is in regards to effective and efficient administrative management and welfare policy of the Nigerian Correction Services, both for the personnel and inmates. Nigerians would like to know your pragmatic, proactive, and improved efforts in the reform and reintegration of inmates.
First of all, just before I assumed office, a new law was enacted and approved by both the National Assembly and the President, changing the Nigerian penitentiary system from strictly punitive to a correctional one. Instead of the old Nigerian Prison Act, we now have Nigerian Correctional Act of 2019. And I happen to be the first minister to administer that law. The law, rather than just put people under lock and key and leave them to rot in jail, recommends that our inmates, the people we handle are not prisoners anymore. They are inmates. They could be convicts or convicted inmates or awaiting trial inmates. Awaiting trial inmates, regrettably, constitute over 70% of those that we have in our custody. Nearly 30% are convicts. We see them as a people deserving of rehabilitation, people worthy of reintegration after their rehabilitation, after their reformation. We believe they are worthy citizens that must go back and play their own role and part in society. Our requirement, our role in managing the awaiting trial inmates is simply custody. It is at their own discretion that they can be part of our reformation, rehabilitation efforts. While we are by law compelled to affect the lives of convicts positively and introduce them to life-changing activities and whatever, we do not have such authority on the awaiting trial inmates. This is very important because people blame us for the errant activities of the awaiting trial inmates who, after a while, are either left off the hook by the judicial system without conviction. However, within the resources available to us, we are doing our best to ensure that those who are under our care have the best. 456 inmates are doing undergraduate studies. Some have really gotten their first degree. Some are doing NC, some are doing OND and whatever. And there are thousands going through secondary education process, thousands doing primary education process, 10 of thousands engaged in crafts and vocational studies. So, and I want to even use this medium to call on well-meaning Nigerians to support us. We are striving to meet the requirements, changing the lives, reforming the inmates. We can never have enough. We need as much as possible support from those who can. And why must this really be strident? And why must this strike a chord in our mind is simple. The less of criminals we have, the better for all of us. We know sociologically it's impossible not to have criminals. But if we strive to redeem them, it reduces the tension and anxiety in society. And we all benefit. To that extent, I want to appeal to well-meaning Nigerians to support the Nigerian Correctional Service in having capacity. It could be a school block, it could be a reading room, it could be provision of books, whatever it is you can do. Most of these things are really done freely. The Nigerian Open University provides the educational thing, you don't pay anything. But we need reading room to even make that possible, conducive reading facility. There is no limit to the comfort we can provide for them to read. If you donate a world-class reading room or classroom for our inmates, we will not reject it. As to whether we have support, yes, some individuals support us, but it can never be enough.
Nigerians are aware of your proactive and strategic efforts to provide adequate security for the correctional centers across the country. You've done greatly due to the incessant attack. But why was the recent Kuje Correctional Center attack by terrorists, why was it possible? And what efforts is your ministry making to forestall future occurrence?
Any attack on any custodial facility is highly regrettable, and most unfortunate. Why? The custodial facilities are the very end of judicial system or administration of criminal justice system. If the custodial facilities could not hold those that have been convicted by courts of competent authority and jurisdiction, then what is the need to invest so much in the entire administration of criminal justice system? From apprehension, prosecution, trial, and conviction of convicts. What is the purpose? If, at the end of the day, they cannot serve their terms. And I share the pain and agony of Nigerians in that regard. However, Kuje Custodial Facility, though a medium security facility, is the most fortified facility in Nigeria. A platoon of soldiers were there before the attack, and they are still there. You have adequate number of various classes of police people from counterterrorism to their elite force of mobile operatives. We must not equally forget that a nation with the challenges we have on security must expect breaches like this. It's painful, but the assurance is this. We are developing a more watertight arrangement that will make it almost impossible for anyone to violate our custodial facilities. I've made it clear, times without number, that the custodial facilities are red zones and that only suicides, those who have cleared their intention to die, will attempt to attack our custodial facilities. All arrangements we made to ensuring that could not work either to, but I want to believe that with the new arrangements we have put in place, whoever attempts to violate our custodial facilities will not live to tell the story.
On our ministry, agencies, and parastatals in focus segment today, let's now bring you significant facts you need to know about the AFCC on the Ministries platform. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, AFCC, is a Nigerian law enforcement agency that investigates financial crimes such as advance fee fraud and money laundering. The EFCC was established in 2003, partially in response to pressure from the Financial Action Task Force on money laundering, which named Nigeria as one of the 23 countries non-cooperative in the international community's efforts to fight money laundering, with the agency's head office in Abuja, Nigeria. The EFCC is currently under the able leadership of the Executive Chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa. These are the functions of the EFCC. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has different functions to the general public. And these functions go in areas such as tackling bank frauds, dealing with economic governance, advance fee fraud, 419, general investigation, and countering terrorism, operating to meet international standards, as well as a responsibility to check into judicial matters and proceedings to help conclude investigations for proper prosecution. The EFCC is directly controlled and monitored by the Office of the President.
The fact that there are no strict laws that governs or guides tenants.
For like 2 years now, and I have not seen one person ask me to pay 1 year.
I like this city because of the opportunity, job opportunities.
We advise that if they are going to create a new university, they should be able to take care of the old ones. Make sure they pay the normal money that they are owing the lecturers and other people that are taking care of the university. Creating more university where it's like we are creating more problems for ourselves.
Creating more universities is not a problem, but the issue is management. If we say that we maintain the previous universities and manage them well, there might not be need for new ones. It would have been only about expanding the previous ones. But creating the new ones is not out of place because population keep increasing and a lot of students still want to get admission and the previous ones might be choked.
Why creating more when the one that we have has not been fully utilized? They like wasting money. They should refurbish the ones we have.
It's priority. What is on the mind of most of our elected officials is just to leave a legacy. They just want to get a project that is associated to them. So they forget that governance is a continuum. Why do you have to create universities when you have not funded the ones that you have are churning out half-baked graduates? I can't see any rationale behind it.
The Ministers' platform is designed for one ultimate goal, which is to promote and project from a broader and realistic perspective the progress report on how the business of governance is being carried out across federal ministries. Let's tell you more next week as we join you again. Thanks for watching.